this past summer, my buddy and I were texting, and he was sending me pictures and showing me this old travel trailer that was a camper that he had had for near 2 decades, sitting out in the alley behind his sister's house. So I ran up there, we cut off all of the remaining debris, making it safe to tow, and I hooked it to my truck, and I drug the thing all the way back to Ohio.
To the untrained eye, this may look like a pile of garbage. And actually, it's not. It's not a pile of garbage. What it is a 26, 25 foot motorhome frame and axles. And it's huge, but it's too big for any practical purposes. It's got good tires, good axles, they're torsion. We'll talk a little bit more about those. All that stuff we don't need for this particular trailer. But we're going to take a big section of it out. So the first thing I got to do is cut it up and turn it into something awesome. So I'm going to get this right now in the garage, and then we'll pick up the action. I have a pretty good idea in my head of how I want this, but I don't know the exact dimensions yet. I do know that the back is too long, that's getting cut off. And I know this section's got to come out. I don't need any of this copper because it's not a motorhome anymore. But this wiring goes to the brakes and the taillights. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that controller, pull all the unnecessary pieces off before I cut the frame. That's my first cut. This half of the trailer is not going to go anywhere. The wheels are holding it up. This half, I now have it braced to where when I make a cut, nothing will happen. Really. But that's basically what I'm doing, is making a step cut like that. And then I'll make the opposite of it down here. And I'll be taking out 3 feet, and I'll be moving the bumper forward, and that'll be the back half. And I'm going to do the same thing up there. But first I need to get to cutting. Alright, got that popped right off there. It was 1, 2, 3. I'll cut that next section, and then we'll get this put back over there. We'll pull the whole thing in, but I can't do it right now. I gotta go. I got people waiting. I made a slot with a grinder on both sides, and then I used the sawzall to go up and down. And they're mostly, I should be able to wiggle it and get it out, but they're not perfectly straight, but whatever, I know how to weld, so it's okay. There you go. Now, this metal I'm gonna use, this is gonna be a stringer that's gonna go across somewhere else, so I can grind and cut all that out. And then because the new trailer, it's going to have fenders and outriggers that come out about 4 or 5 inches. So what I'm going to do is take this metal and cut it in half. And then I'll cut chunks of it, and that'll be my outriggers that'll carry aboard so that you get more surface area while loading, and just a wider, better trailer. Let's see how the shortened section fits. This is our new trailer. Just like that. Now that I have the back section where I want it, I've marked out the front section. So basically the piece between these 2 marks are getting cut out. And what that'll end up doing is putting basically this bulkhead right about there. So that's the surface area of the trailer, which is good. It'll have good tongue weight, which is what you want. Not too much though. And then this end of that is going to end up right in there somewhere. So I've got a mark on all 4 cuts. It's going to take a while. I'm going to chop this all out, clean it up, get it set, and weld these together. See you in a minute.
This thing is light. I wonder if I could bunny hop a trailer. Almost.
This thing is all put together. Obviously, I'll clean the welds up, but this is the proper size. It's now going to be a 14 by 7 flatbed, bike, quad, ramp, trailer. Now I'm going to have outriggers that come out, and rather than bi-metal, I've worked out that I can use the section I took out and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6-inch pieces out of this side and 6 out of that side. And I still have that steel to play with. So I have enough. Now, once I cut those out, I'll grind this weld and use these stringers because it's just like this one. And I'll have 2 more stringers in there, the outriggers, and then I'll figure out what kind of side rail, if any. But yeah, it's super good. I'm stoked. It's got just a tiny bit of tongue weight right now. One guy can push it around. I'm sure it's going to gain a lot of weight by the time I'm done. And I want it to pull good empty because you know you can pull a trailer loaded. You can load it however you want. And right now it seems oblong, but that's only because it's not put together. You watch. When the fenders are on here and everything's together, it's going to be amazing. This steel is going to be my rails. A neighbor kid gave it to me. It's a little heavier gauge than I want it to be, but it's going to do the job and actually make the trailer a little stronger. This big piece is going to be the fenders when I cut that up. It's actually a door from an electrical panel in the city south of Detroit. I actually used it. I put some temporary lights on it, and I went and got the lumber needed for the deck, and it rained all night, so now that stuff is a sponge and it's super heavy, but the trailer itself pulls great. I can't wait to get the deck on it and the rails all the way around it, get it painted and load it up and go riding. Amazing internet time-lapse photography, or nonsense. Starting to look like a regular trailer, except I got about $300 in this one. 4 days labor, whatever. Who's counting?
And just like that, we have a trailer that's usable, and and it's sturdy, and it's strong, and it's quiet. You put this on the truck and go over the railroad tracks, nothing, no sound. The last one I had sounded like a bag of bolts in a washing machine. Like, it was tough. I built it, it was out of old parts. This I used some used steel, but I knew this frame was awesome. And I was gonna buy new fenders, but there's no point in buying new fenders because they won't fit this. This is a motorhome that used to, or an RV that used to have side skirts. So getting one of those to fit would be ridiculous. So what I did was I got these cheapies and I'm gonna cut them in half and I'm gonna get them just like that. And then they're gonna go straight across. And when it gets over here, it's gonna do from here down. So they fit, they're low profile, they don't stick out. You'll be able to drive through, like, it's super good design. I had to buy those retail, which I don't like doing, but at least I have my hands on them today and I can wrap this project up. Because realistically, it's only been, how long have you been watching the video? 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, that's how long it took me. I just need to do the back side, which should be fairly simple. I gotta finish this side first. I pulled all the boards off. Everything is mostly welded. The fenders are made. I'm gonna leave the backs of them open because it gives you more cargo room and it's an open trailer. If it's raining and a little bit of mist comes up from behind, who cares? Everything on the trailer is gonna be wet anyway. So these are low profile, they're sleek. Once it's all painted, it'll look amazing. Speaking of paint, I'm gonna paint these rims, but the best way to do that really would be to take the tires off and sandblast them and powder coat them and blah, blah, blah. There's not that kind of intent or value on this shit. So rather than tape all the way around carefully and then more and more and more, I don't know, I think I saw this on Wheeler Dealers with Ed China like 15 years ago or something. Just take the stem out, let the air out of it, push down a little bit and stick a card in there. Any card. Pick a card, any card. We picked these because no one plays this. I don't even know what it is. That way all you can do is just go around, spray it, and when they're dry, you don't even have to wait till they're dry. Just pull those out, you're good. Yeah, so it's gonna look really, really nice when it's done. I'm gonna stain the wood with a protectant. But yeah, it should be great. Like magic, the wheels are done. Now what I'm doing, I also painted the spare tire cover. And obviously there's still a few spots of welding that need to be done on the trailer frame, but also the wiring. So I can't put the wood down yet. Here's the rest of it, obviously. But they're all marked, so what I'm doing is painting the bottoms, and then I'll flip them over and paint the other side, let them dry. When the lights come in, I can run the lights through the frame rail all the way down, drill the bumper for the new flush mount lights, and get the trailer brakes wired in because each wheel has a trailer brake. So first things first, I want to get all of this, I want to get this coating on. It's been about 4 hours so I can do a second coat on these. I still have to do a final paint, and I also have to wire it. But I'm waiting for the lights to come in. They should be here any day now, so see you in the morning. You know, I like these open fenders because they're streamlined and everything falls directly over top of the tread. I'm not too concerned about it. I was originally going to put these fenders attached to the axle themselves so that they would be like cantilever, where they would just literally like function with the axle, which I thought was really cool. And I was going to do it and I'm like, just stop it. I had so much time in it. There's quite a bit of time. There's a lot of hours in this. Why would I do this? Why wouldn't you just buy a trailer? Well, a couple reasons. First one is these tires are like brand new. Second thing is it's torsion, so it doesn't make any noise. Third thing is the frame itself was free. It came with a spare tire. The next thing is the steel on top was free. So I don't have very much in this except labor, and sweat equity is valuable. Everyone knows that. And plus this was a change from doing the regular things that I normally do. It's kind of like painting or scraping or hosing something, a repetitive motion where you don't really think. You know, you just kind of zone in and cut 27 pieces. You just zone in and weld 37 parts, you know. And that's kind of why I did it, because I now will have this awesome trailer with wicked trailer brakes that attach to the truck. You know, there's a brake controller in there. The lights will be on it. They should be here any day. And I just ran and got some black paint, so I'm going to finish painting the chassis. I'm going to stack these boards in the center and finish painting the chassis. But the finish came out really good. It's good. Yeah, it's going to look cool and it's going to function great and it's going to be silent going down the road. So that's why I did it. Now that's quite a transformation, isn't it? Is it done? No, it's not. I have to screw all the boards down. They're loose on there right now because I have to run wires. I'm going to have flush mount lights in this bumper, and I have to connect power to the brakes and put the switching mechanism up here, and then it'll be done once it's wired. So yeah, and basically for beer money is what I got in this thing, literally beer money. And it's a gorgeous piece, and it tracks true and it's silent, and I'm pretty proud of it. It took quite a while, but I dig it. This is the brake controller, to where if your trailer comes unhooked, it automatically applies the brakes. There's a little battery in there that gives the magnets in the wheels power. I don't have the taillights yet, they didn't come, but I'm going to wire everything and get the wires loose, hanging roughed right there. Then I'll tie in all the brake power and ground together and get them up front. So let me wire this real quick. I've already marked all the wires on the end of the plug because every one of these is different. I'll get it all built, I'll get the battery mounted, and that way I'll be ready when the taillights come. Alright. That's those. And we're up to these, which are markers that when you're going down the freeway, it's really super easy to see the outside edge of your trailer, like at night and in the rain, so you know where it is. It's just a comforting thing. And then the way these are, you're going to be able to see those as well, plus they're side markers. But now comes the wiring of the brake box so that I have the electronic breakaway and trailer brakes for when I'm towing over 3,000 pounds, which is often. So yeah, I still got a bunch of wiring to do. Hang on a second, let's get right to it. I have this 4x4 box in here, and
I'm going to make basically all the connections for the brakes, the running lights, the turn signals, everything inside of this box. I'm going to wire nut it, and I'm going to solder it, wire nut it, tape it, and then seal this box and put a strap to hold this wire and secure all of this right alongside. And it should be a good serviceable power port should I need to. Then I still got to do these wires from the front. The breakaway has to be junctioned into this trailer brake wire. So those are all too short, but this is where I want it all. So I'm going to lengthen those and bring them into here. And when I button it all up, you won't see any of the wires. And if you ever need to get to it, you just unscrew these boards or lay underneath the trailer, which I'm not doing that. So yeah, it should be fine. So it's definitely not quick, that's for sure. All right, well, I just hooked it up to the truck and I have full brakes. There's a test button on this. Says it's working. Plus I applied the brake controller inside the vehicle and it held the truck back in drive, so I know they're working. I cleaned up all the wires. The junction box is all dialed in. But yeah, I'm gonna bolt all these down. Get the spare tire mounted along with its cover. And then the last thing will be these D-rings that go in the floor. And I'm going to strategically place them right where I need to anchor the equipment. So yeah, we're real close. So the next time someone asks you, what do you do with a giant disused travel trailer? Well, my response would be strip the chassis apart and make a trailer out of it. You can do it in any configuration you want. This one came out awesome. The brakes work, it looks fantastic, and we're ready to haul. So the next time someone asks you, what do you do with that giant travel trailer that's never being used anymore, that leaks? Cut the entire top off the thing and make something usable out of the chassis, because those axles are almost always good. Just double check the condition of the frame and get yourself back out on the road. And a trailer like that these days is very expensive. Sure, I got some time in it, but I have very little money, maybe 300 bucks. That is a fantastic hauling piece of equipment right now, and I suggest you give it a try. Thanks once again for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.